from coronaviruses that cause the common cold can provide protection against COVID-19, a recent study has found. The findings come from an Imperial College London study. The new information could help scientists develop ideas for second-generation vaccines. Immunity against COVID-19 is complex. There is evidence of reduced antibody levels 6 months after vaccination. However, T-cells are believed to play an important part in providing protection. The Imperial College London study began in September 2020. It examined levels of cross-reactive T-cells produced by earlier common colds in 52 household contacts of positive COVID-19 cases. The researchers looked at people shortly after they had come in contact with the virus. The goal was to see if the contacts went on to develop infections. The researchers found that the 26 who did not develop infection had notably higher levels of those T-cells than people who did get infected. The study did not say how long protection from the T-cells would last. Dr. Ria Kundu was the study's lead writer. Kundu said, "We found that high levels of pre-existing T-cells created by the body when infected with other human coronaviruses, like the common cold, can protect against COVID-19 infection." The study appeared recently in the publication Nature Communications. The team that wrote about the research said that the T-cells targeted proteins inside the SARS-CoV-2 virus. This finding could offer a new target for vaccine makers. Current COVID-19 vaccines target the spike protein, a protein on the outside surface of the virus, which changes or mutates regularly. These changes create variants such as Omicron. These changes in the spike protein also reduce the effectiveness of vaccines against infections that show physical signs. Professor Ajit Lalvani was a co-writer of the study. Lalvani said, "The internal proteins targeted by the protective T-cells we identified mutate much less." Lalvani added that these T-cells are highly conserved between the various SARS-CoV-2 variants, including Omicron. He said new vaccines that include these special proteins would support the protective T-cell responses that should protect against current and future SARS-CoV-2 variants. I'm John Russell.
Britain's Queen Elizabeth II removed Prince Andrew from all of his military titles and royal positions last Thursday. The move came after an American judge ruled that a legal action against the prince could go forward. Buckingham Palace said in a statement that Prince Andrew's military affiliations and royal patronages have been returned to the Queen. Patronages refer to positions in charities, military, and civic groups that the royal family supports. The legal action against Andrew was filed by Virginia Giuffre, also known as Virginia Roberts. Last August, Giuffre took legal action against the 61-year-old prince, saying she was forced into having sex with him in 2001 when she was 17. Giuffre said the attacks took place at the London home of Ghislaine Maxwell, as well as properties owned by Jeffrey Epstein in New York and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Epstein was a wealthy financier who killed himself in a New York City prison in 2019 while awaiting his trial on sex abuse charges. Maxwell was found guilty last month of sex trafficking of young girls for Epstein. Andrew's lawyers have called the legal action baseless and accused Giuffre of looking for money. They argued that Giuffre signed away her right to sue the prince in a 2009 settlement with Epstein. The lawyers asked U.S. District Judge Lewis Kaplan to dismiss the case for that reason. Andrew told the BBC News Service in November 2019 that he could not have had sex with Giuffre at Maxwell's home. He said he had returned to his house that night after a children's party. Judge Kaplan rejected the argument by Andrew's lawyers. He said it was too soon to decide whether Giuffre and Epstein meant for the 2009 settlement to release Andrew. The judge also noted that he was not ruling on the truth of Giuffre's allegations. He said the prince would be able to argue against Giuffre's claims at a trial. The allegations have damaged the prince's reputation, the common opinion about him. Andrew had already stepped down from public duties after critics said he failed to answer questions about his ties to Epstein. Last Thursday, the Queen's office also said Andrew would no longer be known as His Royal Highness. The office added that the prince is defending this case as a private citizen. If the case goes to trial and Giuffre wins, Andrew could be ordered to pay Giuffre money. The legal action against Andrew is a civil case. That means the prince would not be charged with criminal offenses. Andrew has repeatedly chosen not to meet with U.S. government lawyers investigating Epstein's sex trafficking case. Judge Kaplan said the possible trial